All right, here we go. I think we're back. Are we back here live? Yes. How about that? Any better? Okay. I think we're back, right? All right. I think we're back. Okay, here we go. I think we're back to working now. I'm not sure what happened there. Seemed like my internet looked like my internet took a dive for some reason. I think I had to restart it, and so I guess this will be a two-part game here. With with the first part being earlier on, and hopefully, if anybody watches this after the fact, they'll be able to follow along. We were in the bottom of the third, and Phil Hughes is pitching to George Springer with the bases empty. Boston took a 1-0 lead in the top half of the third, off a Colby Rasmus leadoff home run, and we are back here. So sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened with this stream. I'll have to blame Xfinity or Comcast or something, or probably my computer. One of those two things. Anyway, George Springer here, bases empty, 2 down, bottom of the third. Phil Hughes, being the magician that he is, squirming out of trouble early in the first 2 innings, but this time he gets George Springer to strike out, the second strikeout for Hughes, and he's got a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the third. So maybe all he needed was a lead, and he became a more effective pitcher. Here he is, Phil Hughes. 1-0 ball game. Boston Soul Rocks. Nate Carnes steps up to the mound. Gave up a leadoff homer to Colby Rasmus, but the 3-4-5 batters who he faces this inning in the fourth, he struck them all out the last time up for him. And Joe Panik now. It's a single right up the middle for Joe Panik to lead off the top of the fourth. Joe Panik continues his hitting ways. Actually, it's a funny story you say, power outage. For Higher Ground Gaming. You know, it's during the World Series when the Rockies were in it in 2007. My brother, he worked for the power company here. He was in charge of the entire grid of power for Denver. And wouldn't you know it, during the World Series, the power went out at Coors Field, and his boss, the national boss, the corporate big old boss, who he's never talked to before, had him on the phone like within 2 seconds, like, hey, why is the power out? Crazy. He tells me that was a nutty time. So Nate Carnes pitches to Chris Davis with a man on first, and Chris Davis swings and a misses, and that's the second time that Carnes got him to strike out, the 5th strikeout for Carnes, and the first out here in the top of the fourth. Luis Valbuena now with a man on first against Nate Carnes. He grounds this one to first. Valbuena is going to have to hurry up the line if he's going to stay out of a double play. The first baseman is Logan Morrison. He fires it over to Escobar, back to Carnes, and it is a 3-6-1 double play to end the inning. Panic tried to break it up at second, but Solarte able to jump over the top of him and get the slow-running Valbuena at first. And that's an inning-ending double play for Nate Carnes. Yeah, it's weird how, especially, I guess there's just so much going on during those big events that it pulls so much power. But, of course, the one time that Denver has a national audience and the power goes out, and not to say it was my brother's fault, but it wasn't his fault, but he got it up pretty quickly, and I think the big bosses were appreciative that he got it up. He got the power back on pretty quickly. Phil Hughes now against the lefty Bryce Harper. Smoked one to the first baseman his last time up, and Phil Hughes is a little bit careful with Bryce Harper this time, and a little too careful as he walks him and puts the leadoff man puts the leadoff man on base here in the bottom of the fourth. Logan Morrison now with Bryce Harper. Harper's a C stealer. I thought he'd be better than that on this card, but not in the 2015 set. And Logan Morrison, he looks at that pitch, and he gets caught looking. The third strikeout for Phil Hughes. The one out here. And I can't remember if it was Al or Higher Ground says they can't believe they're rooting for Phil Hughes. Yeah, it's weird seeing him on the Boston team. But here he is pitching to Shane Robinson. Doubled his last time up. And Bryce Harper's on first. And we'll see if he can do it again. This is a 6-10, or excuse me, a 6-9. This one's hit out to the shortstop. That's going to be Jordy Mercer. Mercer, this is his first real tough chance that he's had. He's a 3-range shortstop. So a shortstop 3. And that's going to be underneath his glove and sneak out into left field for a single. Shane Robinson, 2 for 2 on the day. Bryce Harper can only go station to station here. Didn't know if that one was going to get through. And so now there's men on first and second for the third baseman, Adonis Garcia. So Shane Robinson continuing to tear the ball up here. Couple of hits. And now Adonis Garcia with a couple of men on. And this is a 4-6. And Adonis Garcia pokes this one out to center field. And that'll be a single. That's going to score the run. Bryce Harper, who was off with got a good read on that one. Shane Robinson did as well. And he's going to move to third. Adonis Garcia with an RBI single. And this ball game is tied up here in the bottom of the fourth. Phil Hughes giving up an RBI single to Adonis Garcia. And back-to-back hits have tied this ball game up. Bryce Harper with a nice base running, and Shane Robinson too following him. And Adonis Garcia with the RBI. And in limited duty, he's got 9 RBI now. Ryan Hannigan. Ryan Hannigan now with men on first and third. They're going to play in double play depth here, hoping to get Hannigan, the slow-running catcher, to ground into a double play. And not this time. He hits this one right to where Adonis Garcia did. But the center fielder was shaded that way. And so it's going to be a single. Shane Robinson's able to trot home from third. Garcia able to sneak over to third as well. And back-to-back hits. And Robinson scores, and to take the lead for Cleveland, Hannigan has himself an RBI in his first start on the season. So Logan Schaefer now with men on first and third. The same situation, only one out here. Logan Schaefer looking to tag Phil Hughes with another run. Cleveland has taken the lead with one out here. And against the righty, the lefty Logan Schaefer pokes this one through center field. Garcia will score. Hannigan's going to stop at second. And now it's a 3-1 ball game, and Hughes is getting nickel and dimed here for 3 runs. Walked a man, single, 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 and 3 runs later, it's a 3-1 ball game. Not a big hit against him yet. And the catcher, Stephen Vogt, has seen enough. He's going to go take a slow walk to the mound and chat with Phil Hughes while I take a look at the Boston bullpen to look and see what our options are. We've got a couple of long men out there, which would be the case to bring in here Matt Andriese and Michael Lorenzen. We could piecemeal this thing together with middle relievers, Bo Schultz, Chaz Rowe, Mark Marksberry, Justin Wilson, and Thompson. 3 lefties out there. I don't know that we want to do that. Although the Cleveland lineup has a couple of lefties there. We could go get Andriese or Lorenzen, and they're both going to start warming up. We need another power outage. It's like the Super Bowl when San Francisco was dominating against New Orleans, and then the power went out and New Orleans came back to win it. I think they did that one purposely as well. Or no, it wasn't. It was in New Orleans. It was against Baltimore, right? Baltimore won the Super Bowl in New Orleans after the power outage against San Francisco. Phil Hughes now is going to pitch to Alcides Escobar. The leadoff man has gone 0 for 2 so far today. 4 straight singles against Hughes. Men on first and second, looking to get that double play ball. And this is a grounder out to second base. Will this be it here? It's the second baseman, Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve will try and turn it here. He's a 2-range second baseman. A 2-7. He makes the throw to second. The shortstop is taken out. That is Mercer taken out by these opposite number Escobar. And he's not going to be able to make the throw. He's going to have to eat it. And so Schaefer is out at second for the second out. Escobar reaches, and Hannigan is able to move to third. So there's men on first and third for Yangervis Solarte. Solarte with a double back in the first, and he grounded out to the pitcher. Here he is with 2 down. 3 runs already home for Cleveland against Phil Hughes here in the bottom of the 4th. And against the lefty, Hughes delivers. This one is out to Altuve as well. And he is a second base 2. A 2-4. Altuve able to go to his backhand, spins and throws and gets the runner. And that will get them out of the inning. So Hughes comes back, battles back, after giving up 4 straight singles and 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. And Cleveland takes the surprising lead on Boston. It's a 3-1 ball game. Nate Karns feeling a lot better about himself as he faces the 6, 7, 8 batters here this inning. Orlando, Rasmus, and Vogt. Rasmus did go yard off of him in his first trip up, but here he is against Paulo Orlando. And this one, he strikes him out. 6 strikeouts for Nate Karns now. And Rasmus comes up with the bases empty again. And will he be able to replicate his right field home run against Karns? This one's hit out to left field. Shane Robinson gonna have to get on his horse to make a play. He's a 2-range left fielder. A 2-13. He's gonna have to make a dive for it. We rolled a 10. He is a E3. An E3-10. He makes a diving catch. Shane Robinson saves a base hit. And that is the second out. And Colby Rasmus is retired for the first time here. Stephen Vogt now. He struck out his last time up. His only time up. And he hits this one hard, but right at the first baseman, Logan Morrison. Lomo able to make the snag. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nate Carnes. Pitching pretty well here today. And Boston, that offense, the vaunted Boston offense that scored 85 runs coming into this game, has only one here so far. And maybe they've hit a little slump. In their last game, they only scored 2 runs. This one only 1 so far. Phil Hughes will get the chance to come back out here for the 5th. Hasn't really been hit very hard, just seeing eye single after seeing eye single, and George Springer almost snuck one through there, but the shortstop Mercer able to make the snag, whips it over to first, and so the leadoff man Springer is out at first. Bryce Harper got things started back in the 4th with a walk, came around to score on an Adonis Garcia single. And here he is with nobody on. And this one's hit out to center field. That's where Dexter Fowler resides. And he's a 3-range center fielder. A 3.9 is going to go to his E rating. He's an E4. And we rolled a 5. So an E4, we rolled a 5. And he's just able to make the sliding catch. Almost got past him. And that would have been a disaster had it, but he's able to make the grab, and Bryce Harper is out. So 2 down now, and Phil Hughes will pitch against Logan Morrison. Morrison singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and he strikes out again to end the bottom of the 5th. That is the 4th strikeout for Hughes. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Hughes. So repaying the manager's confidence to put him back out there. He gets a scoreless bottom of the 5th, and we move to the 6th. Nate Carnes will face the 9-1-2 batters of Mercer, Fowler, and Altuve. Seems like Fowler was just up to bat, but he will bat second here in this inning. And Jordy Mercer leads it off with a grounder out to second. That's Solarte, and that is a 5. So Solarte, no, I'm sorry, not Solarte. Solarte's playing second. The shortstop is Alcides Escobar. First time we've had to see him make a play. He's a one range shortstop and a 1-5. Solarte, the smooth fielding shortstop, able to make a pirouette and a strong throw to get Jordy Mercer at first. It was a good comeback inning for Hughes. Yeah, he needed it. We left him out there because really, if you look at what happened, I mean, he walked Harper, which, you kind of get that. He struck out Morrison, and then a single from Robinson, a single Garcia, a single Hannigan, a single Schaefer. I mean, what are you going to do there? You just hope some of those get snagged by the infield the next time up. Here's Dexter Fowler leading off his 1-for-1 today. He walked. He also stole a base back in the 3rd inning. And he steps in from the left-hand side, and he strikes out. So Nate Carnes has the strikeout pitch working. That's 7 of them. And here he is in the 6th. 2 out with Jose Altuve. That's one thing that Carnes has done well, is worked without traffic. And this will be a line out to the shortstop. That's the 2nd time in a row that Altuve's hit one hard, but Escobar has been in the right place at the right time and able to make the grab. And that will end the inning, top half of the 6th. Carnes pitching a beauty here. Phil Hughes now against Shane Robinson, Adonis Garcia, and Ryan Hannigan. Really, this bottom half has done the damage. Robinson is 2 for 2 today. Hughes will face him for the 3rd time, and he's able to get him for the 1st time. He hits this one out to the shortstop. Mercer has plenty of time as he charges and throws it from the infield grass. And there's 1 down. Adonis Garcia singled in a run his last time up. Also was grounded out to the shortstop. And he hits this one out to the left field gap. It's going to be down the line. That's going to be extra bases. And Adonis Garcia is standing on second with an easy double. And Phil Hughes has given up a double with one out here. And now we'll face Ryan Hannigan. So with the bottom of the order here, will they go to the bullpen? The right-handed options are Bo Schultz and Chaz Rowe. Not really anything that grabs that grabs you and says, hey, let's go to that guy. Let's take a look. Bo Schultz. We could go get him here in the 6th. He's going to have to face the lefty and Logan Schaefer. Well, they're going to go get Phil Hughes. They're going to get Bo Schultz out of the bullpen, and Phil Hughes, after the double from Adonis Garcia, his day is over. He had an up and down day, but after the double, they're going to go get him. Phil Hughes is making his way to the dugout, and he will be replaced by the righty Bo Schultz. So Hughes goes 5 1/3. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. And he struck out 4. How many did he walk? 1. Only walked 1 batter. If I'm reading that right. Yep. And Bo Schultz makes his way to the mound. Bo Schultz, having pitched in 8 innings, he's got no record so far. He's given up 10 hits and 8 earned runs in those 8 innings, 5 strikeouts and 4 walks. So hasn't been the greatest out of the pen. And here he will face Ryan Hannigan with 1 out. Adonis Garcia has doubled. He's standing on second. And Hannigan gets the pitch from the righty. That's a 5-4. A 5-4. This one's hit out to the third baseman, Valbuena. Valbuena is a 3-range third baseman. A 315. Valbuena is able to make the diving stop down the line, and his only play is going to be at first. Advancing on the play to third will be Garcia. And now there's 2 down. Garcia read that one well. Valbuena had to make the dive, and as he threw it, Garcia broke for third and able to get there easily. And now 2 down, and Logan Schaefer, the lefty, will be up to bat. Cleveland looking to add an insurance run here with the lefty against the righty Schultz, and Schultz is able to get him swinging, and that's a strikeout for the 3rd out here. Schultz comes in and does his job, keeps the double from scoring, and Phil Hughes is happy about that. We go to the 7th. It's a 3-1 ball game still. That'll close the book on Hughes. He gave up 3 runs, all of them earned, but could have had another one, but Schultz comes in and shuts the door. And we move to the top of the 7th, and Nate Carnes will come back out to face the 3, 4, 5 batters, all lefties, of Panic, Davis, and Valbuena. Only 1 hit between those 3 here in their 2 at-bats. And this is a 2-8. And hey, speaking of hits, Joe Panic, he's now 2 for 3 with a leadoff single here against Nate Carnes in the top of the 2nd. Chris Davis with a man on first, nobody out. And this is a, whoa, this one's hit hard. Will it be enough to get out of here? This one's hit out to right field. A 1-10 it is, and the ballpark's going to keep it. And not only that, but the the right fielder, Bryce Harper, is going to keep it in the ballpark, and that will be the first out. So Bryce Harper able to take a hit, and, well, not even a hit, a home run away from Chris Davis. And now Luis Valbuena looking to advance Joe Panik on the bases. And this one is a 1-4 chance at a single. It's not going to make it. The first baseman, Logan Morrison, able to make a jumping catch. And the defense for Cleveland coming through here in this inning. Joe Panik reached on a single, but the defense behind Carnes has kept him off the scoreboard here. And working quickly, Paulo Orlando swings and misses, and Carnes is through the top of the 7th with his 8th strikeout. But maybe he's getting a little bit tired. Some balls hit hard off of him, and he's got a 3-1 lead here. We're at the stretch. Sing if you would like. But we move to the bottom half of the 7th, and it will be the 1-2-3 batters of Escobar, Solarte, and Springer. Bo Schultz will continue. He got 2 big outs in the bottom of the 6th. And Boston can't catch a break, says Al Red Sox fan, and that's right. They almost had a homer there, but Bo Schultz pitches to Alcides Escobar, and that one's a fly ball out to right. Paulo Orlando barely having to move, and he makes the easy fly ball catch. And Schultz now to Yangervis Solarte. Solarte doubled in the first. Since then, he's grounded out to the pitcher and grounded out to second. Here he is against the new pitcher, Schultz. And he hits this one sky high over to the right-hand side. The second baseman, Altuve, calling everybody off. And from short right field, the second baseman, Altuve, makes the catch. With the bases empty now, Schultz pitches to George Springer, the DH. Not doing much of the D in the DH, or the H in the DH. He's 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout. And this is a 6-7. And, well, as we say that, he gets a hold of this one, and that one is going to be out to center for a single. So, excuse me, Mr. Springer. I apologize. Got a hit there. He's now 1 for 4. And Cleveland, with a surprising 3-1 lead, have a man up to the plate with a man on base, and that man is Bryce Harper. And with the lefties coming up, they're going to go to their bullpen and bring out a lefty. And which will it be? Will it be Mark Marksberry, Aaron Thompson, or Justin Wilson? It will be Justin Wilson coming out of the pen to face the lefties of Harper and possibly Morrison if Harper reaches. But Bo Schultz's day is over. Pitched pretty well so far, but left a man out there with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And the lefty, Justin Wilson, looking to clean it up. Schultz went an inning and a third. He gave up 1 hit. He's struck out 1 batter and hasn't walked anybody. And Justin Wilson, lefty on lefty here against Harper. Will it matter? Justin Wilson has only pitched in 1 inning so far. He's given up 2 hits. None of those have come around to score. He's got no earned runs given up. He's got a strikeout and no walks. Looking for a strikeout here against Bryce Harper. And here he is with the pitch. It's a 5-5, and that's a fly ball out to left field. Colby Rasmus is going to have a play, and that will be the 3rd out. The lefty, Justin Wilson, able to get his man and get out of the 7th unscathed. It's a 3-1 ball game. Moving to the 8th, Cleveland with the lead. Cleveland sitting at 5-7, tied in the standings with New York at 5-7. Boston, a game ahead of Texas, who sit at 8-4. Oakland is also 8-4. Toronto, Seattle, Houston, and Baltimore are all 2 games back. So a win would be nice for Boston to keep up and keep ahead of the standings. Will they be able to mount a comeback here? It will be up to Colby Rasmus, Stephen Vogt, and Jordy Mercer, the 7, 8, 9 batters. Rasmus with a homer so far against Nate Carnes, and that's the only offense. And here he is again. This is a 1-3. This will be a ballpark single chance for the lefty. That's a 1-12, and that sneaks past the second baseman and out into right field. And that's a single for Colby Rasmus, his second knock of the ball game. So with 1 out here, Stephen Vogt, the lefty catcher, is up. And let's take a look at the Cleveland bullpen. Not wanting to squander this one away. They've got Jason Mott, the setup man, and then Craig Kimbrell as the closer. They also have Chafin and Blake Trainin. They've got a good bullpen, so we'll not be afraid to pull the trigger here and go to that. Stephen Vogt now with 1 up with a man on first. Will he? He's a C hitting runner. Colby Rasmus is an E stealer, so they're not holding him. They do have 3 catchers, so they could pinch hit for Stephen Vogt here. Would they pinch hit for the lefty Stephen Vogt to try and stay out of the double play? Let's look at the bench here and help me make this decision. Aaron Arthur, Cameron Rupp, David Wright, Brian Pena, and Jock Peterson are on the bench. We could go get the lefty, Jock Peterson. Looking for a big hit. That could be the way to go. Jock Peterson could pinch hit, and then we could bring in a different catcher in the 8th, bottom of the 8th. I think I talked myself into doing that. Jock Peterson is going to pinch hit for Stephen Vogt here. With Jason Mott, the setup man, being a righty, even if they brought him in, it makes sense to bring in Jock Peterson. So here he is, pinch hitting for the catcher in the top of the 8th. So Jock Peterson will face the righty, Nate Carnes, who may be fatiguing a little bit here. With a man on first, that's Colby Rasmus. He's sticking close to the bag. And the pitch, it'll be a 2-12. That's a grounder out to first. The first baseman, Morrison's going to try and wheel for a double play. And it's not going to happen. He thinks twice about it. He's going to have to just step on the bag. And Rasmus will able to go to second. And Peterson is out at first. So pinch hitting did advance the batter. Advance the runner. Colby Rasmus out to second. And Jordy Mercer now will look to bring him home. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Jordy Mercer is 0 for 2 today. And this one has a chance to get out. Jordy Mercer is a weak power hitter, so that's not going to be a home run. A 1, and it'll be a single 2-star. And not quite. This one dies in the wind and dies out in left field where Shane Robinson is. And there's 2 down. So it looked better off the crack of the bat than it actually was. But with 2 down now, it'll be up to Dexter Fowler, who's 1 for 2 today with a walk, to bring home Colby Rasmus from second. Working against Nate Carnes here. And Dexter Fowler hits one to left field. A 1-5, and it's a homer. And, oh no, the left fielder Shane Robinson, who's had a great game so far in the field and at bat, is able to make the running catch at the wall. And that will end the threat for Boston here in the top half of the 8th. Just nothing working here for Boston offensively. Get a man to second. Can't bring him home. And it continues to be a 3-1 ball game. Nate Carnes sneaks out of the 8th inning. And now Justin Wilson will pitch to the right, to the lefty, Logan Morrison. They're going to keep Morrison out there, even though they have Jesus Montero on the bench that could pinch hit for him and stay into play first. But before we get to that, we need to replace our catcher. I don't think we want Jock Peterson catching. So Cameron Rupp will be the new catcher and take his spot in the order as well. So Cameron Rupp comes in to catch the bottom of the 8th. After Jock Peterson pinch hit. And Rupp now will be the man calling the signs for Justin Wilson here in the bottom of the 8th. And he calls this pitch. And Logan Morrison, lefty on lefty, is able to sneak one out into center. And that's going to be a double. So lefty on lefty crime there for Logan Morrison, and he stands at second base with a leadoff double. And they're going to go to the pen one more time with a slew of righties coming up. And it will be Chaz Rowe. You never trust a guy named Chaz, but they're going to have to do it this time. The chat is singing Sweet Caroline as we go to the the bottom of the 8th. So Chaz Rowe will come in to face Robinson, who's 2 for 3 today. Justin Wilson with a double hit against him by Logan Morrison. Bo Schultz, let's close the book on him. He didn't give up any runs. And Chaz Rowe will be the righty. Wilson, he went a third of an inning. He gave up a hit. Didn't strike out anybody. Didn't walk anybody. And now Chaz Rowe. See, you can't trust a guy named Chaz, right? It's just you're setting your kid up for something if you name him Chaz. Speaking of Chaz Rowe, he's pitched in 7 2/3. He's got a save. I think it's one of those 3-inning pitched saves. He's given up 12 hits, only 1 earned run, and struck out 5 and only walked 1. So I guess he's been pretty decent here. And here he will face Shane Robinson and Adonis Garcia and Ryan Hannigan here in the bottom of the 8th. Man on second, and this one is a grounder to the third baseman, and Valbuena able to snag it and whip it to first, but not before Logan Morrison retreats to second, and there's one down. So Rowe gets the first man he sees, and now he sees Adonis Garcia, who's 2 for 3 today with a run driven in, and Adonis Garcia, he strikes out. So Rowe is now 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th, looking to wipe out any insurance runs. And it'll be up to Ryan Hannigan with a pinch hit for Ryan Hannigan. They've got a lefty, Brandon Moss, on the bench. They've got Brandon Barnes and Giovanni Soto. They also have a big bat in Jesus Montero. They could pinch with Jesus Montero and bring in Soto for the 9th. They're going to do that. Ryan Hannigan's day is over. And just like in the top half of the 8th, the catcher is going to be replaced. And this time it will be for Jesus Montero. Pinch hitting here in the 8th against the right-handed batter of Chaz Rowe, or right-handed pitcher of Chaz Rowe. And this is a 5-2, and Jesus Montero comes through, and that is a single through the middle. Logan Morrison rounds third, gets the sign to come home. He's going to score easily. And Jesus Montero comes through with an RBI single pinch hit RBI single. And everything that Cleveland's doing today is coming up roses. And the Spindas take a 4-1 lead with Logan Schaefer, the lefty, coming up to bat. 2 down. Chaz Rowe is giving up a run. That actually gets credited to Justin Wilson. So Wilson gives up a run. It was earned. Chaz Wilson doesn't know. Chaz Rowe does Wilson no favors. And now he'll pitch to the lefty, Logan Schaefer, and he loses him. He walks him. So Rowe is rowing the boat down the stream here, and it's not the right way to go. Alcides Escobar with a man on first and second. When Higher Ground owned a video game store up in New Hampshire, a guy named Chaz was a regular customer. He's a huge video game collector on retro systems. Very strange. Yeah. Chaz Rowe. I wonder if Chaz Rowe is an interesting bird. I bet he is. Well, he's got 2 down here, and he's got 2 men on, and he will pitch to Alcides Escobar. And that's a... Alcides Escobar just gets under it, pops it up out to the shortstop. He wishes he had that one back. He throws the bat in disgust, and that will be the 3rd out as Jordy Mercer able to make the catch. Well, that will end the 8th, but Cleveland scratches by another run, and it's a 4-1 ball game going into the top of the 9th. This will be Boston's last chance. And they're going to see the closer, Craig Kimbrell, coming on for Nate Carnes, who went 8 solid innings. We're going to replace Ryan Hannigan with Giovanni Soto after Jesus Montero pinch hit for Hannigan and drove in a run. So Ryan Hannigan's day is over, and so is Jesus Montero's, both of which were pretty successful. And now the closer, Craig Kimbrell, comes into the mound with Hell's Bells playing. I don't know. I don't know what his walk-up song is, but I assume it's something intimidating like that. Craig Kimbrell has pitched in 4 innings. He's got 4 saves, so he's 4 for 4. He's only given up 2 hits, but he has given up a run, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So Kimbrell is on here, and he will face the 2-3-4 batters of Altuve, Panic, and Chris Davis. So let's tally up Nate Carnes' day quickly before we get to that. Carnes went 8 innings. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits is all. 1 run. He struck out 8. And he walked the leadoff man. And that is all. So, a stellar performance for Nate Carnes. And Craig Kimbrell given a 3-run cushion to try and close this thing out. But he's got the heart of the order, Altuve, Panic, and Davis. And here he is against Altuve, and Altuve hits this one hard. This one is out to left field. Did he get enough to get it up and out? No, he didn't. The left fielder, Shane Robinson, who's been making every play today, able to make another one. A jumping catch at the wall to get the second baseman, Altuve. So 1 down here, allowed out against Craig Kimbrell, and Joe Panic, now the man up to bat. And this is a strikeout. So Panic strikes out for the 2nd time today. And now there's 2 quickly down. Craig Kimbrell doing his job. And thanks. I knew that our New England fans out here in the New England area would know Craig Kimbrell's walk-up song, and Higher Ground Gaming says it's Welcome to the Jungle. So a little GNR to come out to the mound for Craig Kimbrell. And here he is to face Chris Davis. Chris Davis is 0 for 3, struck out twice. And he will face Craig Kimbrell, and he grounds this one, dribbles it to first, really. And that'll be an easy play for Lomo. Picks it up and steps on the bag unceremoniously for the third out. And Boston loses this one to an inferior team, you would say. Cleveland wins this one 4-1. Boston's offense continues to fizzle for the second game in a row. They've now scored 3 runs in 2 ball games. And Boston now, maybe they move out of first place in the AL. We'll see what Texas and Oakland do later on in this game day. But this one's a final here. Boston loses it 4-1 in front of the, you could say, the hometown crowd of Al Red Sox fan and Higher Ground Gaming. Craig Kimbrell shuts him down in the 9th. Cleveland really did their damage in the 4th inning. Phil Hughes gave up 4 straight singles, and 3 runs came home in that 4th inning, and that was all that it took. He takes the tough luck loss, I guess if you want to call it that. And Nate Carnes, who pitched a gem, going 8 innings, only giving up 1 run, gets the win. Craig Kimbrell goes an inning unscathed to pick up his 5th save. And that will do it for us. The June swoon for Boston starts. Well, they got off to a good start, but it's still early on. There's enough time for them to blow it. And if you know how this series works, or how this project works, only the top 2 teams, the winners of each league, will face each other in the championship series. We're taking it old school. You got to win the pennant to make it to the championship series. Right now, that would be Boston, but they are in danger of moving out of that top spot with a tough loss here today. Boston moves to 9-4. Cleveland improves to 6-7, only a game below 500 now. And Chaz Rowe, let's take a look. He went an inning. He gave up a hit and no runs, although he did give up one of those runs that Justin Wilson was credited to. He struck out a batter and he walked a batter. So the winner is Nate Carnes. He improves his record to a 1-1. Phil Hughes for Boston. Yeah, it sounds weird. Phil Hughes is now 0-2 on the season. And Craig Kimbrell picks up his 5th save. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'm going to post this scorecard along with every scorecard that I play. I post those all on Twitter so you can take a look at them. See if I screwed anything up or if I blew anything. I appreciate you doing that. I didn't give somebody an RBI, did I? Logan Schaefer got an RBI. See, look, I almost blew that. But yes, follow me on Twitter at RNGIDP_Strat. We can chat over there. I can explain more about the league if you're confused as to why Phil Hughes is pitching for Boston. And just overall, generally like to be on Twitter. It's fun to see what's going on over there. So follow me. And I appreciate you guys spending some time with me tonight on the RNGIDP channel. We're playing some late night strat. And until next time, take care.